Stop focusing on nicotine. It's your mindset. It's your mental slavery. That's the reason why you're having trouble quitting. If you don't free yourself from this cult,
Todd, one of the things I love that you mentioned in your book is smoking is, you compare it to belonging to a death cult of mental slavery.
That's a pretty rich description, right? Okay, so you want me to explain?
Yeah,
okay.
Where'd you come up with that?
In divine inspiration, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine...
What do you mean? What does Todd Goodwin mean by that?
Oh, I'll tell you, Gina Goodwin. So, as I explained in the book, Break the Chains of Smoking, there's... imagine a cult where it lures in members, young members, when they're teenagers, lures them in with promises of social acceptance, freedom from established authority figures, elevated mental and emotional states, and peer acceptance. You know, you have lots of friends,
Membership.
membership,
Yeah.
right? And you're going to feel great. You'd be popular and all that. And they can't control you. They can't tell you what to do. And that's what the cult leader...
It's a little rebellious.
Right. So it gets these people who are into that kind of thing. And most of us, that would appeal to us. A lot of people, especially rebellious teenagers, like you mentioned. So that cult...
Who are insecure.
Who are insecure, naturally. And that's right. So they're basically getting people who are seeking that. And then once they're inducted into the cult, they require annual contributions, financial contributions of thousands of dollars. They control the time that these new cult members, their own schedule, their time. They tell them when they can do this, when they can't. They tell them who they can hang around and who they can't hang around. They begin to, over time, alienate them from their family and the people that were most important to them, their parents, possibly. And
I see where you're going. Yeah.
And they give them illnesses, most of which they don't die from, at least not initially, but they cause them to have social problems over time. They cause them to have, skin gets damaged, they have health problems, they have less productivity, they continue to spend money, they have lower...
Sucks their energy,
their money, their health, their self-esteem, all of this, and yet they still remain committed to worshiping the leader of this cult. Eventually, a significant percentage of cult members, years and years, maybe decades later after being members, they will randomly choose some number of people in the cult and execute them every year with no warning. Sometimes they get warning. Sometimes they don't kill them. They just give them a chronic illness. And then they have cancer or they have lung disease or heart disease. They may not die from it, but they never know if they're going to be killed. And yet they're still members. It sounds, as I mentioned, this is an awful cult. The government should infiltrate it. They should shut it down. This is awful. Why don't we hear people on social media, decrying how horrible this is? Guess what? Because there is no physical cult like that. This is smoking. They get teenagers. They market to teenagers. The teenagers want to be popular. They want to tell their teachers and parents to screw off because you can't tell me I can't smoke. I'm 16. I'll do what I want. And then when they get hooked emotionally, addicted, over time, they develop health problems and social problems and financial problems and
many emotional problems on top of that.
Absolutely. And then their self-worth, because they realize they're stuck and they realize they, don't think they can quit.
And they wonder, how did I get myself in this mess?
Exactly, but they keep doing it. And this is the mental slavery, the emotional dependency, the prison that they're chained into this prison. That's where the name Break the Chains of Smoking came from, is this fact that they are like slaves and they're chained. So it is a cult. It's called smoking. And it's important. A reason I wrote it like that is so that people understand, stop, and it's towards the end of the book. So by now they get it. Stop focusing on nicotine. It's your mindset. It's your mental slavery. That's the reason why you're having trouble quitting. If you don't free yourself from this cult,
smoking causes 1 out of 5 deaths every year.
Right, so 1 out of 5 deaths are caused by smoking, which means it's completely preventable. The cult is killing off 1 in 5 of the 5 people who die. The cult is responsible for 1 of those. I explain it this way because it's just a powerful metaphor.
It's true.
If it were a real cult,
Might as well be.
Yeah, if it were a real cult, you would realize how crazy this is to be a member. And so this is it. The solution to quitting smoking, the way to do it, is to get out of the cult. And what I provide in this book and in the associated hypnosis system with the online program is actually systematically breaking the mindset of a smoker and shifting it to a non-smoker. That's how you escape the cult. One other thing I do want to mention is some people do quit smoking physically, meaning they've stopped smoking, but for years, because they've never dealt with the emotional stuff, they're still mental slaves. They still think about going back to the cult constantly. They still dream about it. They still, oh, well, I'm still kind of a cult member, but I'm not physically with them. And that's why people gain a lot of weight. That's why they have elevated stress chronically if they never deal with the mindset. So don't just run away from the cult physically. You have to be deprogrammed, and they've done this with people who have escaped cults. You can't just say, okay, you're not on the compound anymore, you're free. You need to be de-brainwashed, or literally you need your brain washed of all the crap.
Clean it out,
Clean it out,
Flush it.
Exactly.